I think it's about time, Busker, right?
I think so. Did you hear that?
What's that?
I think it's time for our overtime period where you get to speak your mind. And today we got a question for our guests. So why don't you lead the way, my friend?
Yeah, so Buska, I feel kind of privileged, to be honest, to be the person to ask the question to our first feature on our podcast. So, Olivia, are you ready?
I don't know. I'm a little scared here. Better not be anything too deep.
I mean, we're gonna go as deep as you're willing to go, to be honest, and just try to keep it real. But yeah. So the question I wanted to ask you today is, there is a popular game that a lot of people are playing right now, and you might be aware of it. So tell me if you have played this game, Among Us.
Yeah, I've played a few times. I still don't quite get it, so I kind of suck, but it's okay.
Well, I mean, not everyone's good at it. Like, I'm not good at it either. I'm sure Bluska over here has more experience and just kills it as the imposter. But yeah, the that
Assuming
that'll.
Buster's always the imposter.
I mean, I don't think so, but I mean, sometimes he's a little sneaky. But yeah, that actually is my question. To be honest, we're gonna talk about like people that are like. Tell me your experience about of people that have been imposters like around you. How have you dealt that? And thirdly, if you can just come up with an example of whenever you felt as an imposter and how did you work through that? Let's see.
Oh, okay. Hmm. I mean, I try to leave, or I try to think that I have a good sense of people's characters, so I try to keep those imposters out of my life. But if I was thinking more from a leadership standpoint and like the experiences I've had, I've definitely encountered imposters in terms of being able to get that work that I've been trying to get done in women's football. So, for example, there was this one group we were trying to work with because we needed them to actually recognize our league properly. And unfortunately, their imposter take, in a sense, was the fact that they were basically using the fact that there is a need and there is a demand for women to have that same sporting experience in football and being like, hey, we're going to just ride off of this, know that there's a demand there and basically take your money. So they're just asking for our money in exchange for us to get maybe like two things out of it, some training, etc. Just so they can kind of bring in some more profits because it's like $30 an athlete or something plus like 200 per coach or something ridiculous like that. So it ended up being like a little kind of a snaky move to get money from us without actually giving us a positive outcome for our league. And luckily, I was able to be like, okay, this is definitely not the direction we should be going because we can get a lot of these resources, especially with this virtual day and age online. And a lot of us are just powerhouses and doing things on our own, so we didn't really need it. In terms of imposter syndrome myself, oh man,
There you
been
go.
there.
Give me
Holy,
an example. Like get real. Come on. Like give me details.
ooh, like I mean, the PhD life. I don't think I've really talked about this because like being a leader in sport is one thing, but also being a student is a whole other aspect, right? So in that sense, like it took a while for me to be like, yes, I am smart enough to be doing a PhD right now. Although
Okay.
it feels like everyone else is kind of ahead of the game. They're publishing because being a PhD student, publishing is like everything. It's like your currency in graduate school. So when you don't feel like you're at that level, you're like, why the heck do I even deserve to be here, right? And then I'm finding that there's situations where I don't know what it is, but sometimes there's like a natural gravitation towards like favoriting certain people, and then you feel like you're not doing the work to be in that same position, if that makes sense. Like I felt like I'm hours in the lab, hours working, and then the outcomes may not necessarily be the same, or I just don't feel that rewarding aspect of being in the PhD. And then you're like, oh, where are all these hours going? Like, am I doing it right? Should I be the one here? And then luckily you have those couple of wins that bring you back into it, and then you're like, okay, I feel a bit better. I should be here. Like yes, that scholarship did help. It felt good in this moment. Like I needed that, right? A reminder that I didn't just like get in out of nowhere. I had to work hard to get there. So I guess that's the biggest thing in terms of an imposter myself. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. It's
Is that chilled enough for you, Alan? I could talk about like relationships.
well, low key, maybe we'll save it for another day when you're featured again. We'll talk about relationships. Yeah, Buska, let's take your thoughts on imposters in your life and how you've ever felt as an imposter. Let's go.
And my take as imposters is I would point to, I guess, recruits. I guess in my last 5 years, like recruits coming in expecting the world, they're expecting to be starting this, and then they come in and realize that it's not going to be as easy as they would like, but they still feel entitled to. And that's where I would like put the title of like imposters you know, because I come from a place where I didn't do like the sports, the Team Canada, Team Ontario. I wasn't like I didn't even play like in the summer football. I just, worked my way to where I got to. And, not everybody gets that because they're so used to being the best player on every team they're on and then just getting everything on the plate because of that. But so they always come, and then there's a lot of guys that just like detach because of that, and they don't, keep on and just work, as I said, work on, put your head down and keep going. And that's something I learned, that I didn't have those expertise, but I wish that more kids would just realize that attitude, it reeks, it's not easy to take out the stench, and, it's easy to determine the real from the fakes, like when the season goes along. So that's where I would point, like, imposters.
Yeah.
Wait, do you
And
have
your
an imposter moment, Alan?
I don't know. Well, I'm waiting for Bluska to talk about his imposter moment. But
Oh,
My imposter moment, I
I'll
guess.
hit it up after him.
Well, I guess last year my thing was like, I don't know if you drove by Western, like the main gates, like
Okay.
main gates or Western Road and Sarnia. I had my billboard there for the Queens game. I was like the promotion athlete or whatever. And so to me, it was just like, is that really me? Like, am I really that guy? Like, so I was always like fighting that, that shadow. I guess same time, that's why that fuel comes from too, right? You're always fighting yourself in terms of like, is that me? So you just want to prove everybody that is you. But at the same time, it's like a tug of war. So, but I think that's just a nature of like existence. It's how you combat it that matters.
Yeah, I like how you mentioned the concept of like chasing your tail and like or sorry, not chasing your tail. That's what I wanted to say, but your tug of rope, right? And like you're
Mm.
just tugging back and forth. And I feel like in my like life experience, obviously I don't have the extensive sports experience as both of you guys, but yeah, like whenever it comes to this, like there's always people that are trying to get something from you or to just like yeah, to cheat you, right? And it's hard to see if people are really being honest. And even though it's difficult for me because I'm a little bit too trusting, and that can be that can be bad, right? Like, because there's people out there that will want to take advantage of you if they see that um you're doing your job, you're doing your tasks, right? And then you see this person, you're doing your task in the spaceship, you're playing the mini game, and then this guy's sitting beside you not doing his task and then just like kills you real quick. And then you have to either quit the game or like just play as a ghost. But like I guess in my life, what I would really when it comes to being an imposter is that sometimes it feels like what you're doing isn't isn't good enough. Like even no matter what you do, like even in like sometimes you don't feel like you fit in, right? And I think a big thing for me that I can relate to is probably when like sort of Olivia, like for you were talking about like your PhD, but sometimes I felt in my undergrad at Western, I felt like I don't fit in with all these like science students, and especially these medical science students, because they seem like they're at a different level, like just like what they're doing on their spare time, like their goals and initiatives, and like even their drive. And it feels overwhelming when you're in a place where you have so many people that are like shooting for the stars and they're getting these good grades, and then you see yourself just struggling a bit, especially in like first and second year, right? And like you just feel like, why am I here? Like, but at the end of the day, sometimes you don't really know what you have next, right? And like you're like, I can't go away. So you either have to just grow in your situation, and even if you feel like an imposter in some cases, you just have to like pull through. And I don't know if that's something that you guys think is a good idea. Like, I don't know, like I kind of dragged my feet through my 1 degree, and it just like, was it the right path? But like, yeah, if you don't feel like you fit in, sometimes you just have to grow. Sometimes the soil isn't that great, and you still have to find a way, right? So what do you think, Olivia?
I mean, going on to my second degree, because I went right into a PhD. Yeah, you definitely the same experience. Like, I don't know, sometimes I thrive off of that energy. Like, hey, I need to prove that I should be here, so I'm going to keep doing the things that kind of highlight that hustle. And I think a PhD does that, you know what I mean? Like, it shows that you can self-motivate to get the things that you think are going to contribute to the research community, to the in my case, the health system. So that's why I'm gonna keep dragging my feet and hope that I can put my roots somewhere until it really takes off, you know.
Not every path is straight, right? And it'll take you all different places. Yeah, and if you do find yourself in that situation where like you don't feel comfortable, yeah, you either decide to buckle up and, like you said, Olivia, drag your feet, or you just find where you need to go, because yeah, everyone's a work in progress. I think that's a motto for all of us. So,
yeah, I don't know. I'm just to add, like, yes, I had those moments of feeling like an imposter during my academic career, but then I was like, okay, what's my outlet that I know I'm going to find a bit of success in? And I guess for me, it was like all the stuff that I do with women's football. So it just kind of brings me back out, tells me that, hey, like, you're not always an imposter, hey? So time to keep going.
Yeah, I think that's a wrap.
Yeah, so
All right.
I have to say big thank you to our first guest. Olivia, do you want to end with some, maybe a little plug over here about something you're cooking up, something you want to do?
Ooh, cooking up. I wish you asked me this a week ago, because we had a whole showcase on women's football for high school athletes. But I guess my big plug is this Friday I am presenting or giving a talk on hurdles and huddles in sports leadership, especially for women. So it's kind of this talk today and podcast episode kind of fits perfectly with that. So that's at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. on Friday. And you can find more information on Lead Through spelled THRU, leadthroughsport.com. So you can check out more there.
So also follow Olifa on Instagram, on Twitter. Follow the Western Women's Football Team. And you can also follow Olivia. Her tags will be along with the show if you want to keep up with what she's doing. If you're interested, everything that we're doing is just part of the journey. So we wish you luck in your journey, and we'll I feel like for some reason you'll be back on the show.
Oh, I hope you'll have me back. I mean, you already plugged the stuff that I completely missed. We just talked women's football for the last however long. So thank you for having my back there. Hopefully we'll get another podcast episode in so I can keep promoting.
Alan, do the honors, my friend.
On my side, yeah, Olivia, it was a pleasure having you, and we're looking forward to having you again and updating us on your organization. But Bleska, gotta fist bump it.
Fist bump.
And don't forget, don't get lost in the sauce. Another episode of HomeCookin. Let's go.